While Europe was building empires, Africa was defending hers fiercely. Her name was Queen Zinga. She was the warrior queen of Angola and one of the most powerful women in history. But you probably haven't heard her name. And every year they sent more ships to Angola to seize more slaves and make more profits. But Queen Zinga had a different plan. They found a queen who knew how to fight and was unafraid to get down in the trenches with her troops. Unlike many of her contemporaries in Africa and Europe, she didn't believe that war was exclusively a man's business. So she led by example, fighting alongside her male warriors and devising battle tactics that took the Portuguese by surprise. That's because the empire builders of Europe had a nasty habit of erasing the names of powerful African leaders like her from history books. Where children are taught about her bravery and military genius in school, they celebrate her as a national hero, the one who stood up to the Portuguese and their guns with just 2,000 warriors and won. During her reign in the 16th century, Portugal had built a massive slave trade empire in Africa. Subscribe to hear more stories of real African power, not colonial myths. When the Portuguese arrived, she accepted the title of Queen Mother and spent years pretending to be a docile ruler while secretly building alliances with neighboring tribes and amassing an army of 200,000 warriors. She would use hit-and-run strategies, disappearing into the rainforest with her troops only to resurface again and attack the unsuspecting Portuguese. Her warriors fought with machetes and bows and arrows, but also with guns and cannons captured from the Portuguese. One of her brilliant tactics was to lure the Portuguese into the thick rainforest where they would lose their bearings and be vulnerable to attack. It was an ambush strategy that worked wonders. She launched a devastating attack on the Portuguese, capturing their major cities and forcing them to flee. For the next 30 years, she successfully resisted the Portuguese attempts to conquer Angola. Thick rainforest, difficult terrain, sudden attacks from hidden forces, and always the fear of the unknown. The queen turned the very elements of her homeland into weapons against the Portuguese. In fact, she was so brilliant at politics that when the Portuguese offered her a noble title and asked her to become their ally, she played along. When the time was right, her tactics were legendary. And though she is rarely mentioned in world history books, her legacy is alive in Angola. She wasn't just a queen. She was a strategist.